I wouldn't put it past Red Bull getting it right again. And especially, you know, are they done with sort of fixing this car now? I think they're on to 2024 now. So it's unfortunate, but we're going to see a bit more of a dominance for the next, I want to give it, I'd say 2 to 3 years. And then
I reckon?
Yeah, I reckon.
But I don't think as dominant. I still think Red Bull would win, but
there will be a closer.
Yeah,
Wait, but when you say dominance, what do you mean by dominance?
I disagree in terms of, I think, because Max's dominance is what it is right now, but he's not even being challenged. And I think the moment other teams do get better and start to challenge Max Verstappen and the Red Bull team,
that's a whole new Max.
They will turn it up a notch. They're almost sandbagging, if you will. They've got a lot left in that tank.
Well, Max can drive within himself.
Yeah,
you know, relative to his. I mean, he can still. You know, GP was telling him to chill out on the tyres, right?
Yeah.
So he was pushing because he wanted to, because he could, and he still won by 20 seconds.
Yeah. And I don't trust,
teammate.
I don't trust, you know, we've watched Mercedes the last 2 years really be uncharacteristic. We've never seen Mercedes like this.
Never
before.
seen them in the pits like this.
Yeah,
we've never seen them
exactly.
in the dirt.
I think that's the one thing I will say though. I think it is possible because we saw it with Mercedes, like the flip way round. You know, like if we look at Mercedes 2019 compared to like Mercedes 2021, they did leave that door open for Red Bull. You know, there is, and especially now we've got the cost cap, we've got the wind tunnel time as well. We will hopefully close people together. Yeah. I think there is a chance, and I do genuinely don't think it won't be. Wait, hang on. Okay, let me start again. Whoa, let me rewind that sentence for a start. I genuinely don't think it'll be as dominant in say 2 years.
Okay.
You might still see Verstappen win the championship because he's a fucking alien.
Yeah.
But I don't think you'll have like 30-second victories because like I would like to imagine someone will have at least unlocked something.
Yeah.
But how much faster can you make a car as well? How much faster can you make dominant vehicle? Okay, because we said on the stream that there's certain things that certain drivers do that make them better than the rest. That's why there's only a few of them in the world, right? But a lot of, you know, the winning does come from the car, and it's just that special talent inside of it. But how much faster can you make a car?
Yeah. Is there like a wall that you
there is a theoretical ceiling to these regulations.
Exactly.
And it's like Red Bull are closest to that theoretical ceiling. I mean, you're never going to get there, but it's whether everyone else, and this is what I mean, like Mercedes have been changing stuff. Yeah. Ferrari have been changing stuff. Like McLaren have changed a lot. Like Red Bull haven't had to deviate. They've been on this path, and everyone else is kind of going sideways and tripping over themselves because it was always going to take the first year for there to settle on this. Okay, it's the Red Bull style philosophy, which is the best. I mean, Williams started the season last year with no side pods, like Mercedes did. Ferrari had their bathtubs. Like Aston Martin had some weird side pods. Do you remember the start of last year? Aston Martin side was proper weird.
Yeah, of course.
And it's like they've all been changing, whereas Red Bull have been saying, and I think that's why now they've banked that. Yeah, Newey and that technical team at Red Bull just nailed it from the doors.
They don't need to explore any more options for that car.
They've got their option. Everyone else is now converging to that.
Yeah.
They are jumping over the hurdles correctly. They've smashed it.
They smashed it, and the thing is as well, like they've got a lot more. They've got a lot more that we haven't seen yet. And I think as soon as everybody starts to pick up the pace, Red Bull will be like, well, yeah, you guys are about 2 months behind. Even if, for example, if you copy the Red Bull car exactly, for teams to get it as accurate and as well done as Red Bull have done it, it will take them some time anyway.
Red Bull have already made the next.
And they're next. Yeah. So everyone's going to be chasing the pack. I don't believe, you know, when you're saying how much faster can it really go? It's all about what's the competition. The competition is what matters. So they could be 40 seconds ahead next year just because everybody else is flopping the base as they have done this year. So, you know, once you hit that, it's when all these regulations change, as soon as that one team gets dominant, that's it, they're gone. Wait for the next regulations to come. I know towards the end of the season, sort of the end of the term of the regulations, the teams get closer, which was what was kind of annoying about these regulations now, because we saw Red Bull versus Mercedes, and we were seeing like Racing Point, for example.
I wish we'd had one more year.
You know, if we had a couple more years of that, we would see a lot more of a closer thing. But this year, although the sort of P2 to P10 in the constructors is a lot closer, the one team that's hit the nail on the head is gone.
Because they hit the nail on the head.
But saying that, the team that have hit the nail on the head has gone, but you've also got a number 2 driver finishing 20 seconds behind Max Verstappen. Now, like we said, these talented drivers, there's only a few of them in the world. P2 is fantastic for Checo if he was 6 seconds behind Max or 4 seconds.
Yeah.
You should not be 20 seconds behind your teammate.
That is actually a sick
When they
point
start
because
sixth.
that sort of shows.
When you start sixth, you said, when you start sixth, you shouldn't.
Yeah. And it took you, if he'd started sixth and ended up first after like 6 laps, fairs, okay, cool, you were leading for ages, whatever, I don't know, changeable conditions and stuff. But he didn't even overtake Perez until like lap 19.
Yeah.
So he had half a race to build up that lead and he built up a whole pit stop. How far would he have been ahead
And look,
if he actually started from pole? It's not.
That's the thing, because I know a lot of Checo fans. I get it, right? You get defensive and protective over your driver. I felt it when Alex was getting slapped by Max in 2020, right? At the end of the day, that gap, that discrepancy, that percentage gap, if that's anywhere else on the grid, like there's going to be words. And
Well, there were words and it was De Vries.
yeah,
He got sacked.
and I don't know what that percentage gap was between Tsunoda and De Vries, but I can almost guarantee it's smaller than the gap between Verstappen and Perez. So what I'm saying is that it's not a problem for them now because, again, they started the regulations from a car point of view in a great place and they've got Max, who is the best driver in F1 right now, as far as I'm concerned. So
And he will be for a long time.
Yeah, and look, it's not a problem for them now. I do think, if now everyone's got this understanding, okay, this is the philosophy that works and we can all pool and everyone converges on this same philosophy. That's when these big gaps, I mean, again, net gap, if he finishes 20 seconds ahead of Checo starting P6, then the actual net gap is probably more like maybe 30.
Yeah.
Maybe,
mental.
yeah, something like that.
And that shouldn't happen.
But I think that's
that
another
could be a
reason.
problem if other teams catch up. That's what I'm saying. They won't get P2 every time with Checo.
So they'll just swallow Checo as they catch up.
But that's the thing, like, and we've already seen that through his mistakes as well. If he isn't like on it completely, there are people there to take his place. But also even today, we're talking about Red Bull. The car is like so dominant and this and that, and whatever. Perez finished 5 seconds ahead of Leclerc.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
which
was
is
ahead
not a
of the
dominant
entire
victory.
race. And and we didn't even, did we expect that much from Ferrari? Yeah, maybe challenge for a podium, but they're not like, I don't know. I don't have that much faith in Ferrari half the time. So.
Leclerc was in pole. I wasn't expecting him to get a podium. I'll be more surprised if
probably.
he got it. I'll be less surprised if he didn't get it. So I'm not saying he never was going to get it. In terms of being surprised, I was like, oh, nice, they got a podium.
Yeah.
Do you think
But 5 seconds is nothing. Like realistically, over a course of a race, like
What is it? We
could have a worse car and finish 5 seconds out of someone else.
We saw when Max parked up after winning, he was already out of his car before Charles pulled in, right?
Before Ricardo and Tsunoda had even crossed the finish
He was
line.
out, mate. He weighed himself. He was chilling. He had a glass of bubbly. It was sorted.
A little bit of
Feet
bubbly.
off, shoes off.
It all depends on this as well, though. What is the best Checo we've seen since he's been at Red Bull, and where do you rank him in the top, say, 6 drivers on the grid, or top 10 even? If we have to go,
the first 5 of the year, he was really good.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was more than 20. Again, 4 or 5 races, more than 20 seconds clear of the rest, which is a dominant victory. Like victory relative to the next non-Red Bull.
It's actually fallen apart since Miami.